Raider Nation, I'm worried about you. I'm truly concerned for your soul. Because what I'm watching, what the world is witnessing, is a masterclass in pain no human deserves to endure, especially your fans. I mean, how many of you can still remember this?
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.
It was back in 1984 when Marcus Allen was a god among men.
He didn't. Only 12 seconds left to play third quarter. Here's Marcus Allen. Cutting back upfield, and Marcus Allen could be gone.
Al Davis was the smartest man in any room he walked into. Just win, baby! That wasn't just a catchphrase, it was the law of physics.
It's at that point in time when I think that the team realized that we were going to be world champions. The sheer delight, almost to a degree of frivolity, that's a picture that I think will linger for quite a while.
But now you've gone from the baddest men on the planet to the league's favorite homecoming opponents. And yet you're still wearing the spiked shoulder pads in the 110-degree Vegas heat. I admire your loyalty, but let's face it, you're loving a slow-motion car crash in black and white. So, let's sift through the wreckage and see if perhaps a Seahawk can finally steady the ship. Let me ask you one question. How did we get here? And please, pause the video for a second to let me know in the comments. But how did the most feared brand in professional sports become a punchline? Here's what I think. It started with a move, and no, not the Vegas move. I'm talking about the musical chairs of the 80s and 90s. LA to Oakland, Oakland to LA, back to Oakland. You were America's touring team like the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey, but instead of the acrobatic part, we're only the circus act. Not good for your fan base, but that ain't even the worst. Let's talk about coaching. Since the turn of the century, you've treated head coaches like, well, politicians treat promises. You use them once, and when they don't work, they hit the trash can. There was John Gruden, the man who got you to the doorstep. But that wasn't good enough, so you shipped him off to Tampa. And then...
At age 39, Gruden became the youngest head coach to win a Super Bowl. It was only fitting that
you made him the youngest coach to win a Super Bowl when he cooked you a year later. Now, I get it. You can continue screaming Tuck Rule all day long. Brady doesn't care. The NFL doesn't care. And even more, the country simply doesn't give a
Blitz. Lost the football. It's on the ground. Covered by the Raiders.
The quarterback's arm was going forward. It is an incomplete pass.
Well, there's no doubt his arm was going forward.
Sure. But he had held up.
I think it's safe to say that this will be talked about.
You aren't still really blaming Walt Coleman for that when you're 3-14 in 2025. It's like blaming your brother for failing at life when he punched you in the 5th grade. And since then, you're telling me that you're rebuilding? Okay. But even the Great Pyramids of Giza were built faster than the Raiders' nations. And guess what? The Egyptians actually finished the job. You just have a collection of draft busts and a commitment to excellence that isn't worth the paper it's written on. At least Commissioner Goodell already knows you've got a top 5 pick locked in, and I bet it's a moment every top NFL draft prospect prays like this. Oh Lord, please don't let it be me. So what is it? Karma? The autumn wind blowing in the wrong direction? No! It's bad management. It's a lack of identity. And a franchise living on a 70s reputation, producing failure after failure in the 2020s. So, now that the culture's been cooked, you thought maybe the dessert could be an oasis. Maybe the bright lights of the Strip and 24-hour casinos can produce enough gold to keep the pirate ship going. But instead of a gold mine, found a mirage. I'm talking about this.
For the third time in just over a year, an NFL franchise is abandoning local fans for the promise of a new stadium in a different city. First, the Rams went from St. Louis to LA, then the Chargers joined them. And today, NFL owners at their league meeting in Phoenix approved the move of the Raiders from Oakland to Las Vegas.
$2 billion on a shiny black glass in the middle of the desert. I still remember fans calling it rebirth. It was the moment the Raiders finally became the global brand Mark Davis dreamed of while sitting in his local P.F. Chang's.
We have a lot of upset fans in Oakland, but also a lot of
heard that.
proud fans in Las Vegas. There are plans to have a celebration of being the Las Vegas Raiders now in
What's
the coming
that
days.
now?
Any plans to celebrate becoming Las Vegas Raiders in Las Vegas in the coming
Well, we
days?
still have some work to do, but yeah, absolutely. But we're the Oakland Raiders right now still, as we're playing in Oakland. And we look forward to our new home in Nevada.
Mark, there was no contingencies in terms of...
Look, I really want to like Mark. I really do. The man's a real underdog story and nothing like Jerry Jones. He flies Southwest. His haircut defies the laws of aesthetics. But as an owner, he's been chasing ghosts. He tried to recreate the Gruden magic, and it ended in a scandal that even the best HBO scriptwriters couldn't dream up. I mean, he even brought in Josh McDaniels, a man groomed by the Dark Lord Bill Belichick himself. He thought he'd finally get the Patriot way. But let's be honest, why would you put a Silverado engine in a lawnmower? McDaniels was great in New England, but he turned an explosive offense into a cure for insomnia. He pissed off Davante Adams, a man who truly enjoyed his time at the Raiders. And then came Antonio Pierce, a vibes guy. He was the Raider way guy. What did that get you? 3-14. I mean, the defense couldn't stop a peewee kid running a go-round. But what about the former Super Bowl winner, Pete Carroll? Man was over 75 and chewing gum that had more eligibility than your entire roster. I get the desperation in it, but if you haven't woken up yet, the Super Bowl is currently contested by coaches in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. Even our man Andy is struggling to adapt. You need young, dynamic, and most importantly, men who are willing to evolve. And now you're looking to trade away Max Crosby, the only man who truly still knows the Raider way. It's Micah Parsons all over again. Have you ever wondered why your own stadium's filled with more away fans than those wearing silver and black? I mean, the Chargers? They're a joke, sure. I even made a video on them if you want to see. But they have Justin Herbert. He possibly has the strongest arm in the league, and he can go toe-to-toe with Mahomes on any day. They might have a ceiling, but you have a leaky roof and a brand new $2 billion stadium. You're literally on par with the Jets. Even Cleveland went 5-12. You are the league's favorite reality TV show, but the ratings are plummeting because we already know the ending. But I'm not even mad anymore. I'm just disappointed. Because looking at this 2025 roster is like looking at a what not to do manual for NFL franchises. And guess what? It's Monday morning, and here we go again. The mutual parting with Pete Carroll. Another search. Another top candidate list. I've heard Mike Tomlin. Please. Why would Mike Tomlin, a man who has never had a losing season, walk into a burning building and ruin his career? In fact, why would anyone with a future want to tie their career to the silver and black anchor of doom? You see the fans on X. We've got the cap space. We've got the picks. My beloved Raiders Nation, you've had it all since the Bush administration. Cap space doesn't matter if you spend it on over-the-hill veterans who just want a tax-free Vegas paycheck. Picks don't matter if you're drafting for a system that changes every 18 months. So, tell me, how do you do it? How do you keep the faith? You are the most resilient people I've ever witnessed, and depression doesn't exist in Vegas. Or are the casinos your distraction? I see the fire everyone signs. I see the YouTube rants. You're the most passionate, loyal, terrifying fan base in sports, and you're being served a lukewarm product year after year. It's a disgrace. It's an embarrassment to the Shield. The Jets are a mess, but at least they know it. But you're like the Steelers, still living in the past. And instead of the black and silver, you're now just a black hole where talent goes to die. Now, this is where I wanted to end this video. I really don't have much more to say, but there is hope. A new development that might just be the answer you've all been begging for.
About the business-like approach, that's what it is. There's a couple photos. Is that Mike McDonald there? Yep. So here we are. The coach has landed off and straight over.
No, that's the Seahawks. But Seattle might just be your hope. Mark Davis didn't go for a retread this time. No vibe guy. This time he went for someone with an actual brain. Someone who made Sam Darnold look good.
Sources with insight to the Raiders front office tell us Seattle Seahawks offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak is the top contender to be the team's next head coach.
But before we see this as the second coming, let me be objective. Clint Kubiak spent the last season turning the Seahawks into a top 10 offense. He's the guy standing on the sidelines in the Super Bowl and knows what it takes to reach the mountaintop. He understands the modern, wide zone, high IQ offense that actually works in 2026. Is this it? Is this the next big thing? Kubiak brings pedigree. He brings a system. He brings the one thing the Raiders haven't had since 1983, a plan that wasn't written on a napkin at Nico's during dinner. And if you don't think he can make a difference, just look at what D'Amico Ryans did in Houston. Could Clint Kubiak be the man to finally exorcise the ghosts of Al Davis? Could he be the one to tell Mark Davis to stay in the office and let the football people do football things? Or maybe just let Brady pull the strings? Maybe, just maybe, the Raiders found a guy who isn't afraid of the black hole. But let's be real, this might just be McDaniels 2.0. We've seen this movie. We saw it with every offensive genius that walked through those doors and left with a 1,000-yard stare. So, Raider Nation, I'm leaving it up to you. I've roasted you, mocked you, I even dismantled your history. But now you have a Super Bowl coordinator. You've got the first pick in the draft. Use it wisely. And I sincerely hope that I don't see you in the top 5 in 2027 again. Instead of just win, baby, please just compete. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.